Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. We welcome you to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Yesterday we started our new lesson in economics unit 3 money and credit. In that yesterday we discussed a lot of information about evolution of money and all. Today we are going to discuss about different forms of credit as well as electronic transactions we are going to discuss and also about Reserve Bank of India we are going to discuss. One has to visit the bank and fill in a challan or produce a check to withdraw from his account, isn't it? So now this practice is gradually vanishing. Instead, one can easily withdraw the necessary amount from an automated teller machine, which is called ATM, with the help of an ATM debit card. One can easily withdraw the money needed at any time at ATMs located everywhere. Even a person can deposit money in their account without visiting the branch. So similarly, credit cards are also available through which things are bought on credit and the amount can be paid later. So nowadays, instead of using checks or demand drafts, that is DDs, online transactions through net banking are carried out. Through this, money is transacted to anyone who lives anywhere across the globe. So technology has advanced so much that even mobile banking is widely used nowadays. So most of us now we are practiced to use different types of cards which comes under electronic transactions. Without visiting the bank, we can do all our activities. Now we are going to discuss about role of the Reserve Bank of India. A government has the responsibility to regulate money supply and oversee the monetary policy of the country. Hoarding of money must be avoided at all costs in a country's economy. Then only government can utilize the money available for the welfare of the society. So only then money can be saved in banks. So a major portion of the savings in banks are used for the development of industries, economic growth and various development schemes for the welfare of the poor. Especially modern state is a welfare state, so it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the people. So if you take all the major and important banks were nationalized in India, the Reserve Bank of India, that is RBI, it has the power and it regulates the circulation of currency in India. So the Reserve Bank of India, it started its operations on 1st April 1935. Already I told you the Reserve Bank of India, that is RBI, regulates the circulation of currency in India. So it was permanently moved to Mumbai from the year 1937. RBI was nationalized in the year 1949. So 85% of the printed currency is left for circulation. So according to the statistics available as on August 2018, currency worth of 19 lakh crore are in circulation. Now we are going to discuss a few points about functions of money. When money replaced the barter system, a lot of practical issues were solved. Money acts as a medium of exchange, a unit of measurement, and a store of value. So first we are going to discuss about medium of exchange. Money should be accepted liberally in exchange of goods and services in a country. In this picture also you can see with money he can buy some groceries and also he can buy a car. So it acts as a medium of exchange. Next one, money is a unit of account. Money should be the common standard unit of calculating a country's total consumer goods, products, services, etc. For example, if you take a book costs rupees 50, it means that the price of the book is equal to 50 units of money. So money is used to measure and record financial transactions in a country. The third one, money is store of value. Money is used as store of purchasing power. So it can be used to finance future payments also. For that in this picture you can see for future payments this person is saving money. Now we are going to discuss about credit. First, what is meant by credit? Money that a bank or business will allow a person to use and then pay back in future. Farmers avail credit during monsoons for buying seeds, agricultural input and other expenses. In the same way, traders and small entrepreneurs need credit for their needs. Even large industries receive credit to take up their new projects, isn't it? So, credit is available from formal financial institutions like nationalized and private banks and some cooperative banks also. We can get credit from informal financial institutions. Nowadays, microcredit is received through self-help groups, that is SHG. So, as far as nationalized banks and cooperative banks are concerned, the interest to credit is comparatively lesser and there is guarantee for the pledged goods. While if we take informal financial institutions are easily approachable to the customers with flexible procedures, but there are issues like the safety of the items pledged, high rates of interest, and modes of recovery. People who live in a particular place or those who are involved in a certain work join together as a group and start saving. These are called self-help groups. The nationalized banks provide help to these groups through microcredit. Credit given those self-help groups for street vendors, fishermen, especially women and the poor really make a difference in their life. In Tamil Nadu, all the banks have 10,612 branches across the state. They carry on a total transaction of around 15 lakh crore rupees during the financial year 2017 to 2018. Now, a small recap of this lesson. We discussed about the barter system. Barter system flourished where civilizations thrived. We discussed about gold, silver and copper, which were called ancient money. We discussed about mobile banking, which is widely used nowadays. We discussed about functions of money and also about credit. Okay, children, to receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you, children.